Welcome to the Naked Under the Table show, where we say what we think because we're just as naked under the table as you are. We've got nothing under the table and nothing is off the table. Our weekly golden nuggets are delivered hot and fresh by your favorite half naked people, Martin, Denise, and Elsie. On this week's episode, we are entering our third of our What If series, and this is going to be a real interesting one because we are asking, what if dinosaurs were never extinct? What? And the host tonight is none other than the self-proclaimed dino writer, Elsie Reclamo.
Dinosaurs! Dinosaurs! It's one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. Growing up, I was watching this cartoon about what if dinosaurs actually evolved and they became these high-tech, human-like reptiles, very smart, smarter than humans, I should say. And they were like fighting the most of the herbivores were fighting against the carnivores. So the antagonist was the T-Rex against a Diplodocus, against an Archaeopteryx. It was just an awesome show. And I think that's one of the first
Against the Facebook vegan narcissists.
I think that's one of the first few cartoons that really brought me into dinosaur likelihood. You know, I was really a big fan right after. Then Dino Riders came out, and that just blew my mind when we saw these giant reptiles, dinosaurs, being piloted by these aliens. It was just awesome. Who doesn't like aliens and dinosaurs?
It was. Yep.
It's just sad it was a failure, but still it was an awesome show. So we're gonna be talking about dinosaurs. I want to keep this light, guys. I want to keep this fun, light, and this is another What If series. And we're gonna. What's that word?
Some light sparring.
Some light sparring. Some light jabbing. No haymakers tonight, guys. No haymakers. So yeah, we're going to be talking about dinosaurs and what if they never went extinct? Would we still be here? Would we still be alive? Would we still be even a planet at that point, or a civilization for that matter? So we're going to go through it now, and I want to ask you guys my first what if. The extinction of the dinosaurs gave mammals, we all know the story, the chance to flourish and evolve, thus the human race came to be. But since the topic is what if nga, what if we never came to be? And the dinosaurs evolved to be us. As in an alternate crazy sci-fi universe that we're still us. Denise Hack, Martin Johnson, Elsie the Dino Rider is still us, with our personalities, with our lives, with our jobs and everything in between, but in dinosaur form. So I want to ask you guys, what kind of dinosaur would you be and why? And here's another thing. You don't have to be technical. You just have to, you can just describe it, or our producer Q doesn't want us to invent dinosaurs, so maybe stick to a real dinosaur. But I would love
we should be able to invent.
Okay,
I thought this through and I invented a complete dino persona.
Since this is a alternate universe on evolution, we probably evolved to be different kinds of dinosaurs at that point. So go crazy, go nuts.
Okay,
go for it, Denise.
Okay, so I just got the green light from our producer Q to invent a dinosaur because I would evolve, right? I would come from a dinosaur. So I would probably be like those dinosaurs that sometimes walked on all fours and sometimes walked on two legs, right? So that would be me. And
Terrifying.
yeah, and my scales would have eventually evolved to be like a purplish color or hue, right? So
It
I'd
has
have
to
like
be
a purple.
purple, no, because it's royalty.
Well, it had to be like purple. Like think of that. What's that lettuce? There's a kind of lettuce that has like a purple hue, right? Like that. But it still has green on it, but it has a purple
Okay.
hue, right?
Okay.
So I'll be kind of purple. And in the daytime, when I walk around, when the sun hits me, there's some material on my scales that it glitters.
Like
When
a
the
like vampire in Twilight.
So you're like
yeah, okay.
a. I was about to say
But
like
I
a
like that. Like
prima
how
like a
because it's partly protective. It's partly protective, right? Because then I'm like blinding you with my glittering.
a
You know,
clamosaur. Is that what it's
yeah,
called?
that was the name. Oh my god, that was the name. The glam. Wait, you beat me to it, but yes, that's the first part of the name, the Glamosaurus. We'll get there. Okay. So she or me, the dinosaur that I am, would have a purplish kind of scale hue, and when I walk in sunlight or when light hits it, it kind of glitters, right? And the reason sometimes I walk on twos when I'm on totes boss mode, and I'm like,
Yeah.
working and telling people, "Yo, we got to get shit done." Right? But at night, when I'm like totally
Oh.
tired or I just want to kind of pig out or whatever,
You can
then
walk on fours.
I would be on all fours, right? I mean, just like, oh y'all, oh
You're a
y'all.
by walker. A by
Yes.
walker.
And
Whoa.
I would have that horn like the how do you pronounce it?
You also have
Parasaurophilus?
A
Parasaurophilus?
Dimetrodon.
Yeah, the one
Stegosaurus.
with the
The
cranial
plates.
yeah, with the cranial horn in the back. Yeah. So that I could make music,
Cranial
you
horn.
know. They can
Ankylosaurus.
make music. Yes.
it would also be smart to be able to walk on all fours for when you get drunk. It's better balance.
That's
Actually, most humans become walkers at on fours when they're drunk. So that's
yes.
pretty much
Yes.
nothing has changed actually in evolution. Your glamosaur sounds very glamorous, Denise. What
And so
are you,
and
a
that was the name.
carnivore or a herbivore?
I'm an omnivore.
Omnivore. Okay,
I
okay,
would eat both, right? And then the
okay,
name
okay.
of me would be the Glamosaurus Yes.
What?
So,
The Glamosaurus Yes. Like
Yeah.
toads, right? That would be me.
Toads.
Glamosaurus Yes.
Toads.
okay. Okay, in evolution, some toads actually they become, they turn into females or males. They can be hermaphrodites. But I guess your Glamosaurus is pretty much female of the species.
Yep.
How big is a Glamosaur?
I would say about as big as the Parasaurolophus.
Parasaurolophus.
Parasaurolophus. I said it right.
Right,
Parasaurolophus.
right.
Yes,
That's
about
that's
that big.
pretty. That's
Yeah,
pretty big.
yeah.
You'd be pretty heavy. Would you fit in the? Would you actually fit in
What's
the?
your weight? What's your weight? Oh, you're not supposed to ask. You're not
You're
Yeah,
supposed
you
to ask.
never ask a female dinosaur that, or she'll butt you with her head.
Oh, okay. Speaking of defense and attack, what is
Yes,
the obvious weapons of a Glamosaur?
very good. So the first is that glitter, like shiny exterior. So like if I need to like
You'll
flash you and
dazzle
like,
them
oh,
with your
I'm blinded,
glamourness.
I'm blinded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it'd be so sparkly. You'd be like, oh, I can't see. Right. But the other
So
would be I would
predators would
use
be like,
exactly. Too bright for me. Too bright for me. And then so because I'm also a quadruped, right? Because I'm also a quadruped, like my defense would be I'd pretend to be low key on all fours, and then
Mhm,
I would stand up on my two hind legs. But
mhm.
this is an evolutionary stance. My two front legs could do this. Like what? What you looking at, huh? What you looking at?
That's that's not far from happening because Diplodocus, one of the biggest dinosaurs, can actually stand on two legs with its tail as like a tripod. Would you? Does the Glamsaur have a tail though?
Yes, it needs to because it needs to
Okay.
balance. It's still a little bit, and it needs the tail to still get back on the hind
Yeah,
legs,
All
like
right.
the typical quadruped. Yeah, still
Are
needs
you
the
a
balance.
long neck? Are you a long neck or more of the
The medium size, like a
medium
like a
size? Oh,
Parasaurolophus. Yeah,
this
that
is
one.
like a mixture. How what's it called when you can go into a store and you can mix your own candy bag? This
Yeah,
is like that. This is like that just with
I hate
dinosaurs. Like mix your own dinosaur, create your
mixed
own.
own dinosaur.
hey, so
I would
I
like
based
I
it
would like
on.
for 10
I
peso
didn't like
that
completely
and 10
invent here.
peso
Like
this.
I based it on real dinosaurs, the ones with like the
Right,
the
right.
cranial horn like this, and the quadrupeds, and
Mm.
yeah.
So
So,
I guess at
They're
that
very well
point,
done.
so I guess at that point, the quiddity office would be not in a building. I guess it'd be more
A bit
located
taller.
in a cave, maybe like the quiddity cave office.
maybe I don't know.
And would you even hire other carnivores? I mean, would you wouldn't probably hire carnivores in your office, no? You'd keep it herbivorish, so you'd be like the top dinosaur in the office, or would you still try to mix and match? Would you hire a Tyrannosaurus
No,
Rex?
I'd still hire like bigger dinosaurs because, as they say, if you want to be great, you stand on the shoulder of giants. So I'd hire them T Rexes and Brontosauruses, all of the same carnivore, omnivore. As long as you can
Mhm.
contribute, I'd hire you. I'd hire you.
All right, to share. That sounds like a that sounds like a rarity. This Glamousaur with
Glamosaurus,
glittering
yes.
Glamousaurus, yes, with glittering scales as its defense, and and probably a hard head
Yeah,
for
you
for
can butt
attack.
heads with you if you have
You
anything
can
to
butt.
say about me. Yeah, butt heads
Yeah.
with you.
So if you're a big, like say, like a big T-Rex, you just headbutt your balls, bro.
You can just headbutt the T-Rex.
That's how she inserts dominance over those massive carnivores.
I want
No,
to
but
hear.
remember, because of that cranial protrusion, I can make sounds, right? So sometimes I don't even have to do physical damage. I could just look at the private parts of, said dinosaur and make a real mocking sound, and laugh at their
a
privates,
sonic a sonic disruption of sorts that will
right?
destroy its
And they would just skulk
senses.
away
Yeah, or
embarrassed
just
and
make the dinosaur equivalent like noises of a scolding. Like you could just scold
Yep,
them.
yep. And it goes something like this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how there's no
Mm-hmm.
roar or weird sound. It just goes. That's how it.
Yep.
That's how the Glamousaur
Mm-hmm.
sounds. Very, very
Yep.
interesting. I want to see actually how it looks, Tului. I wish we had time to draw it. How about you, Martin? I want to know what would you be? What dinosaur is Martin Johnson?
So, being a massive dinosaur expert, which of course I am, uh, I
Sarcastic, that's his name.
I immediately knew that I wanted to be the Tyrannus, the Utyrannus, Tyrannus.
A Eutyrannus.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sounds like uterus. Okay.
Yes, it sounds exactly like uterus, which is exactly why I picked it. No, why I picked it is because it's basically a bird version of the T-Rex. So it is a T-Rex, but with big yellow feathers.
Oh yeah. It's actually
Because
well.
And not because of anything, just it just has.
okay,
That's why I
well,
love it because
if I can
it's
have
so
glittery
random.
scales, you can have your yellow feathers, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this is not. This is they literally found one of these.
Really?
So it's a real dinosaur. Yes,
Right.
and it's a same as a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it just have bright orange feathers instead of scales or skin. So it's imagine that it's like a massive like
So you're
land
like
walking
Big
bird.
Bird from Sesame Street.
That's exactly what it says.
Big bird.
It says it said it would have looked a lot like Big Bird, although I didn't know who Big Bird was. But yeah, yeah. So that's the
Yeah,
one, the
and
yellow
then
guy,
your
right,
best
with the
friend would be
beak.
the Snuffleupagosaurus.
Yeah.
So
So
Snuffleupagus could be a dinosaur.
instead of the beak, it just has a Tyrannosaurus
Right,
or a T
right,
Rex head, and then
right,
the rest
right,
of the body is a lot like Big Bird. Yeah.
right.
So that was one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is the Martin Johnson dinosaur? Uh, would it evolve into a more fighting dinosaur, or would it become more of a friendlier type since you have the big bird body?
I think since the dinosaur obviously has some issues trying to disguise the ugliness of the T Rex in it with amazing orange burnt feathers, I would imagine that it would evolve into a dinosaur person that was very set on impressing, other people. It's very concerned about what other
I
people
got
think.
it. He's a combination of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, Big Bird, and a peacock. That's basically.
That's it, man. That's the only explanation I can find for why a dinosaur like that would have big
Wow.
orange feathers.
Martin's and my dinosaur can really put on a show between the glitter and the feathers. My goodness. You should all live in
Except my
Miami.
dinosaur is real.
It's based on a real dinosaur. It's actually a real dinosaur, which is more bird-like than reptile. Which is
That's also why I always had a fascination with birds that can't fly. Like I never got the point. I never got the point. Like why have wings if you can't?
like the ostrich, right? Or chickens. Actually, chickens could be a close relative. They share a very close similar DNA with dinosaurs.
Ve-
You'd be surprised.
Velociraptor. It has close DNA with Velociraptor,
Right,
which
right,
was
right.
so basically it was a ferocious predator, and it turned chicken.
Yes, I'm not kidding.
I
It
don't
was. It was.
know.
That was the story.
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
don't
not
really
laughing
know.
at the inaccuracy of it. I'm just laughing at
Yeah.
the way Martin has explained it.
Yeah, but I'm like
So it is not a
I don't
coincidence
know
that the feathers
if
are
it's if
yellow.
it
Because the other word for being chicken is being yellow. So that's why it has
Yeller.
yellow feathers.
yeah. I mean, I don't get it. Like, how can you be a ferocious predator and then
And turn
in a
chicken.
few million years turn into a chicken?
Hey,
Like, what's a kind of like Darwinistic evolution you would have to go through?
So
It's
I
like a
imagine it's
reverse.
somewhat like, about 60 years ago to be a thespian, you really had to go to Juilliard, take very good acting, classes and hone your craft to survive in Hollywood. But today you just need to have a scandal and you'll be on reality show. So the celebrity has evolved to be completely stupid. So it's
Yeah,
the same thing.
that's true, man. I'm still trying to create my scandal, man. I'm trying so hard,
a dinosaur
man. But
scandal. What would dinosaur scandals be like?
like a
That
T
would be
Rex dressed in orange feathers. That's a bit
something
of a
like that. How would we even hide our? Never mind. I don't want to get into that. We're losing time. Like, you have the funniest dinosaur. I don't know why I laugh so hard.
What about your dinosaur, Dino Rider?
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably be a pterosaur because I want to take to the sky. For me, it's an obvious choice. I'd be a pterosaur. Anything that can fly. An Archaeopteryx was supposed to be very smart. A Troodon was also, but it's not flying. But yeah, anything that flies, any pterosaur. So a pterodactyl, pteranodon, any of those would be a great. I would love to be that now, and probably I'd be living up in the mountains, like a condor would, like an eagle
Or an
would.
eagle. Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. I had my house there. Everything would be well. If dinosaurs evolved to be us, we would, and most of us became pterosaurs. Some of us became pterosaurs. We would have sky cities. We
Yep.
would have, we would have conquered the sky, and we would have built massive sky cities and
What
water
would our
cities.
cities be built out of?
Water
Eggshells
city,
or
guys. We never thought of water. Water has the biggest volume on this planet. You could have been a plesiosaur,
Megalodon.
a pleasure
right?
sore?
A
Like, is that like
pleasure,
a
a pleasure.
dinosaur prostitute or
Ladies and gentlemen,
Plesiosaur, not a
the
pleasure.
dinosaurs are not extinct on this show, but evidently our brains are.
We are, guys. We are devolving as we speak.
Ah, maybe
Plesiosaur.
you know what happened, Elsie? I think we shrunk our brains to the size of dino brains. You know, maybe that's what's happened.
Plesiosaur would be the prostitute of the dinosaurs. The plesiosaur.
That's why she's always wet.
Oh my god. Well, think of that, guys. If we become dinosaurs ourselves, the environment will have to coincide with us. That's just how biology works. Trees will be stronger, tougher, bigger. Plant life would be sturdier. Would be insects would be huge. Humans will never be able to exist in our world. We'd be on top
yeah?
of everything,
I wonder would they still, like, would the proportion of the insect size be the same as the proportion between dinosaur and human feet? So dinosaurs could still
probably
just
probably would be swatting yay big mosquitoes, I guess. Yeah,
And I now
most probably.
realize the other benefit of my shiny purplish scales. They're like those mosquito lights. They'll be
repellent.
repelling all of the mosquitoes.
Repelling,
Mm.
but the gamo will be attacking
You
you
guys know
every,
that when you hang out with someone, or with, if you always gotta have someone when you're hanging out with them that's like a mosquito attractor. That's the best way to repel mosquitoes.
you know
Just
what?
hang out with people that the mosquitoes love more than you.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen? I think there's going to be some class system, which happens to most civilizations. And we might not even be mingling. Pterosaurs might be like, we're not going to be mingling with the low dwellers, and
Like
the
a
sea
race war.
people would be, yeah, something like that. Or like, it probably would. I would imagine like sea dwellers would be so huge and big. They would be like, we don't need land people. We have everything in the sea. Just don't get anything from us. And I'm sure there's going to be that problem to the point of war. Even this is going to be scary. A war-ridden world of dinosaurs. Wouldn't that be crazy? Dino riders can happen, or dinosaurs can happen. It's going to be crazy.
Dinosaurs.
So going,
Sirs.
let's move on. Okay, now that we evolved with, what if we evolved with them? Okay, let's go back and let's be the Flintstones, for example. We are now in the Flintstones universe, and we're still us as humans this time. We're back to being us humans, but the meteor never hit. The dinosaurs were never extinct. They were able to evolve with us, coexist with us. Let's just say this is an alternate universe. I know it's not probable, but let's just say. And now we have domesticated them, since we are humans. Do as humans can have been doing, domesticates everything in their surroundings, and we have domesticated dinosaurs at this point. What will your pet dinosaur be, and what would you call it? Martin, I want to hear you since you have the funniest answers.
Hey,
Man,
Calamasaurus, yes, was pretty funny.
That's an awesome answer, Denise. Not as funny as
um,
Martin.
when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, okay, if I could have. So there's several like spectrums, several like features you would like it to have, right? You would like it to be awesome, right? You don't want a shitty dinosaur. Of course, there's preference to that. Like, I mean, you see that with dogs, right? Some people actually people have very different preferences in dogs, but it would have to be cool. It would have to be useful. So I thought about what is it that I would likely need help with that I hate to do the most, and that would probably be gardening. Um, so what I thought about was a what's it called, the plantosaurus. I wanted one of those with long necks that can trim the hedges. But it's kind of like having
A
sheep
turtle.
or something that they can go around. They'll trim your lawn. I would
They'd
just like one that
landscape your whole. Yeah, nice.
landscapeosaurus. So I think that would be the best for me. That would be useful, and it would be awesome because I like big animals, like blue whales and elephants and grand danois and very big dinosaurs. Um, and it would be able to like trim my hedges. Even like imagine you could teach it how to hold uh like a broom, so you could clean like your roof, right? So many amazing things you could do with
So
a
it has to be
domesticated
herbivore
dinosaur.
since it's going to be eating a lot of grass around your field,
Yes,
around your. That's nice. Can you ride? Would you want to ride it? Would you
of
mount like a
course,
saddle? Of
of
course. I
course,
think
of
that's the
course.
first thing that anyone's gonna do. Ride a
Yeah.
dinosaur, Dino Rider.
You know how, like,
I'm
for
sure.
some married couples, when the wife asks the husband to mow the lawn, and the husband puts the lawnmower on autopilot, but is actually sitting down on a lawn chair drinking his beer,
Right, right.
Martin would just ride that landscapeosaurus while he's trimming the hedges and he's drinking his beer.
Yeah. So I actually that's completely true, and I actually like mowing lawns, but the favorite way to do it is on an actual, what's it called, like the motor driven, like lawn
Yep,
mowers, the ones that
yep.
you can sit on. I love
Yeah,
that, man. You have a beer or a soda. You sit
right.
there, the sun is going on you. You're just chilling around, fucking driving on. Yeah, man. It would be the
On a
same, but just on
Sunday
a dinosaur.
afternoon.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that dino? Oh,
But
wouldn't
if
you
I
can
had a
actually?
wife that asked me to mow the lawn, I would thought she was talking about.
Oh, come on.
Oh
I would
man.
be excited. I would be, wow,
Oh my
man,
God.
it's
That's
Christmas.
another topic. Uh, well, you can actually get into business with your dinosaur. That can probably mow lawns a lot faster and more effective. You can actually get into business and put up your own like gardening business, landscape business. That's gonna be interesting. How about you, Denise? What would your pet be, and what you? Oh, sorry, Martin. What's the name of your dinosaur?
I'm not good with names, man.
Give me a
Uh,
name. Just call it Charlie.
Landscapeosaurus.
Landscapeosaurus.
I'll name him Landy. It's Landy.
I
Nah,
don't
not
think
that
that's
for
gonna
you.
work. Not
You
Landy.
just call it Dino. Si
Yeah,
Dino. Si Dino. How about you, Denise? What
Latino.
is
Hey, I
your
know what you can call it.
what?
Mo. His name could be Mo.
Si Mo.
My name is Mo
You could call your dino
Lol.
Mo.
That's a cute name. How about you, Denise? What is your dinosaur pet and what's the name?
All right. So I wanted a very intelligent dinosaur that can also protect my family, but can be counted on to take care of certain things that required some form of intellect. That I could teach how to do one thing once and they'd be able to replicate it. And so, kind of like a butler. So, my dinosaur pet would be a Troodon. A
Oh, that's
Troodon,
what's gonna be
yeah.
mine, man.
Oh, I'm
That is actually
sorry.
the smartest dinosaur.
Yeah, the smartest, and they're about human size, so I
Right,
wouldn't have to worry about fitting them into my house when I give them a place to stay.
right.
Or your
I could
car.
give them yeah, regular. He could learn to drive the car. He could be like a chauffeur, a butler, an all around handyman,
Not
assistant,
far from
and
happening. If
yeah.
dinosaurs evolved to be us, a Trudon would have been the likely candidate to become the new humans, an
And
alternate
so
human.
he's also kind of like, so he's an all-arounder, right? Um, and so this Troodon has a name because he's our family butler. He will be called Alfred.
Alfred. Does he have a British accent?
Could, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Right, right. And then we have a special cave where we go down and we like,
Uh,
yeah.
uh,
And we could be
uh.
vigilantes, at night,
You know,
helping the world.
the scary scenario with this question is, what if all those dinosaurs evolved their brains to be somewhat smart and just realized that they're in slavery and went against us?
Or what if it was the other way around? What if the dinosaurs domesticated us?
Us, that would, but I don't see the use for us though.
Exactly. We would be lucky if they decided to domesticate
We
us.
would.
But it
We're
would
better
be
as
Food.
food.
kind of
We'd
like
be
when
food.
human beings have like a guinea pig or something, like fairly useless, but you just have it
Planet of
because
the
it's
Apes
cute.
scenario. It's a
Dance,
Planet of
human,
the Apes
dance.
scenario.
Walk
Yeah.
around on that wheel over
But
and over again.
I don't see in the dinosaur world where dinosaurs are smart and huge and stronger than us. I don't see the use of humans, but
No,
as
but I get
probably
Martin's point.
toys,
No, as like pets for entertainment. They'd make us
yeah,
run
we
for
would be entertained
races. Yeah, they'd make us
like a
fight.
guinea pig,
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah,
cat.
yeah.
Mm.
Right, perfect. Yeah, exactly. Mine would still be a pterosaur, something that flies. I would still want. I wouldn't need a car, so I'd be riding that pterosaur every day. That's going to be my daily commute. I'd feed him. I'd call him Swoop. His name was Swoop, and I just call him Swoop, and he'd just come in and just land, and I'd run and just hop and ride him in my high tech saddle with MP3 player, Bluetooth, and everything I need. Then I just and I have Waze also. Like I'll call it Airways. My app is called Airways
Yeah,
because it's Ways for the
it's in the
sky.
air.
So I won't get lost, and then I'll have navigation routes, and like we'll be flying with Swoop. That would be fucking cool, diba? I don't know what he eats though. Well, they are carnivores, so I'll have to probably stock on, I guess,
Rats.
chicken,
Yeah,
Or
rat.
eat
rats and
eat some
chicken.
people along the way.
Oh
On
yeah,
the
that
way
would
to
be
work.
nice. That would be
That
nice.
could
I'd
be
probably
another thing they could use people for. So they could do like
food.
the whole like vampire blood bank thing. They could
Mhm.
grow human beings industrially, and then they could just, instead of having gas stations, you just have a place where the dinosaur can come and eat humans.
That could be a thing, right? That could be a thing. We would have human zoos, which is actually that really happened. Actually, that's a scary thought.
Sad.
Anyways, but yeah, we would be probably food. Guys, I'm gonna jump to the next question, and the no, the question before that, I'll just use that as the last one if we still have time, because I want to cut this at 10 p.m. Okay. Uh, I want to know your personal theory, and you can go as crazy as you want. What if the dinosaurs never died out? How will it affect the world? This is in your own personal theory. Will we still be here? You can just go crazy. You can think about it as long as you, well, not that long, and go nuts. Denise,
So we're doing the evolution theory now, right?
right, right.
Um, yeah, so I mean, I'm tempted to go very scientific here in
Go,
that
go, go, go for it.
um, because I think what would happen is because Pangea started, separating slowly already a few years, thousand years before the meteor hit.
Right,
So assuming the meteor didn't hit,
right,
Pangea would have continued separating, and I think dinosaurs would have evolved to be continental. So, like certain dinosaurs were endemic to certain parts of the world. You'd
right,
have African dinos, and that still
right,
technically happened, right? Certain species are attributed to
right,
North America, Africa, etc.
right.
And then you'd have, let's say, European dinos. So that's, I think, what would have happened. And I think they would have evolved to develop better brain function, and not just the smart ones like the troodons or whatever. I think all of them would have kind of evolved to be more adaptive, um, because even the environment was changing. Like climate was getting cooler, oxygen was increasing, so they eventually have to develop. And I think because of the increase in oxygen, they get more oxygen to the brain, and that would increase brain function. So I can imagine they would actually organize themselves into communities. And I'm not talking about herds like the herbivores would have, but like actual communities where maybe you'd have the carnivores that were more of the protection, like the military type people. And then you had the herbivores that were the agricultural type people, and they'd even have all of these different like jobs and tasks to help each other. And I imagine there might even be some trade because the earth was changing when Pangaea was separating into the continents as we know them now. So the food that they were eating and the access to all of the minerals and proteins that they used to get access to would also change. So there'd be some trade because now it's not one landmass. So they'd have to trade and stuff. So they'd have like these little like baggies on their backs and they'd walk around and do a trade. Here's some fish for your meat and whatever. Um, and then I imagine that there would be some form of like Atlantis, like in the ocean, because there were a lot of sea dinos, right? So there'd be like an Atlantis of some sorts down there. And that would be pretty cool, and they could even make like a theme park of it. They probably like invite some of the land dinosaurs to come into Atlantis and they create like some air pockets. That would be cool, right? And then it would be like nice. There's now trade, but there's also
So that
tourism.
they would use sea dinosaur farts as air bubbles for.
You never know, or maybe the eggs of the sea dinosaurs could be like helmets. I don't know, but like it would be super cool, and they'd have like tourism. Welcome to our side of the world. And then I imagine because, as I mentioned, there are certain dinosaurs that could actually produce sound, so they develop like music, and there would be entertainment, and these guys can stomp. So they would be like those guys in blue that do stomp. Oh, not the guys in blue; those are the blue men. But like stomp, that group that
That,
bangs.
that would be another definition of rock music.
Yeah, right. They'd really be using rocks, so they'd be rock musicians and stuff, And then of course the smart ones would invent some machinery. You never know. As we discussed in the first episode of this series, there's a debate if the wheel was actually invented or
Right, right.
discovered. So
Which you can
maybe
check
guys,
out. Which you can check out where?
yeah, you can check out on our YouTube channel, The Naked Under the Table Show, on our Facebook page, The Naked Under the Table Show, and on Spotify, The Naked Under the Table Show. And my theory is the dinosaurs would have eventually discovered the wheel also, and they would have made some stuff with it too. So yeah, they would have been pretty awesome. And I think they would have shrunk a little bit in size. They wouldn't be as big as they were today, just because
As
back then they
population
didn't.
grew.
Yeah, as population grew and as the continent shifted and supply of all of their things weren't readily accessible, so they'd have to trek farther and longer. So yeah, that's my dino world.
It's a dino world. Denise's. You can call it DDW. Denise's Dino
Dino
World.
world.
That's actually a good script for a show. You should write it down. How about you, Martin? How about you, Martin? What's your craziest theory on this?
Well, I did like the theory of kind of like the vampire thing, right? So they start doing agriculture, but
Right.
obviously they're carnivores, so it's not really agriculture. It's more like
Human code.
Homo sapien culture, right? So they start growing humans and use us as fuel. I think that's very possible. Although I'm sure you can get better animals to use for fuel than human beings, such as pigs or cows
If they
or
ever existed.
yeah,
If
if
they
they
ever
ever
evolved.
existed in that world. Um, but yeah, in terms of like development, I don't know. It's hard to say. Would they have? I mean, you can argue that the reason why our intellect grew was because that was our only weapon,
Our
right?
weapon.
That would be
Our advantage.
or our only tool. Let's say tool or
Our
but
biggest advantage.
yeah, that's from a Darwinian perspective. So I'm not sure if dinosaurs. Well, there are certain types of dinosaurs, right? That's also where it's get difficult because there's a lot of difference between the races. Like it's definitely some of them are you could almost call them different species, right? It's not
Right,
really
right,
race. All of it is actually different species.
right.
But you could say that there could be possible like a dinosaur, one of the smarter ones that would continue to develop their intellect. Um, but also a lot of them didn't rely on that. But man, that they have just some crazy, just some crazy senses. Some of them, you know.
Q,
But
Q just posed a funny question. Which
yeah,
dinosaur species would have been black?
yeah,
You're a
um,
racist. I would
definitely
answer
the
that
T Rex.
question, and I love that there wouldn't have been one, and they wouldn't have all the problems that we have now. This woke culture
I
and
don't
like
think.
slavery
I think. I think.
and
I think. I
abuse
think
and
it. Right, right. I think in the dino world, I think the biggest the biggest discrimination would be size and strength and power. I think that would be
Yeah,
the
and they
well,
no,
wouldn't
the
have
because
to
obvious.
discriminate. They could just eat you.
They'll
yeah,
just
no,
eat
but
you.
then like there's this big debate, and there's several versions of if a big Brutus dinosaur challenged a smaller, more agile but intelligent dinosaur, and it's a toss up. Sometimes because the smaller dinosaurs were more
In
nimble
numbers,
and strategic,
I
and
guess
they fought in numbers. Yeah,
in numbers,
yeah.
like wolves attacking a larger beast, like wolves attacking a bear, they can bring that bigger animal down
But
with the right
see,
tactics.
that's the point, right? They didn't discriminate. There was no such thing as discrimination. There was
No,
just yeah, there
survival.
was yeah, it was just survival, and and that's and there was a kind of accordance of respect, not because of what you
Right,
looked like, but because of what you could do. You could be a smaller dinosaur, but if you could beat the big dinosaur's ass,
right.
you get respect. And you could be a big dinosaur and
But but I mean, yeah, I'm sure, but the chance, like not the chance, but that would be in on very rare occasions, right? We're talking about a world that's based on basically pure raw power and ferociousness,
Hmm.
right? That's
but if that's the
predetermined.
truth, because they were around for 150, 160 million years, if it was just survival based on bigness and ferociousness, the smaller ones would have died out millions of years even before the asteroid hit, but they survived. You had smaller, more nimble, more agile dinosaurs that still survived precisely
Right,
because strategy and agility counted for a lot as well.
Because
um,
yeah, because they adapted.
yeah,
right.
so I mean, while it's always a natural default to think the biggest strongest thing will win, but nature has
You're
proven
right.
that's not always the case. Yeah.
You're right. In the grand scheme of evolution, some scientists believe that our ancestors could be a single shrew that survived the asteroid explosion. So
Yeah,
these
but
are
I
things
mean,
that
if it also, yeah, I guess it depends on what goggles you take on. Like, if we're talking about survival in terms of like evolution, then insects would be the best animals
oh
on
yeah,
the planet.
definitely.
Fungi,
Right?
bacteria,
Bacteria would
yeah,
be
Fungi.
bacteria,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The fern plant
The
would
fern
have
was the
served.
one that rebirthed the
Right,
earth. Like if it
you're
wasn't for
right.
the
Very good,
fern,
very good.
we
That's
wouldn't
right.
Yeah, they're
exist. Okay?
very,
Brought back
very
Earth.
hard to get rid of.
So,
You
ladies and
can't. You
gentlemen,
can't.
to steal a line from our previous episode that you can catch on YouTube and Facebook, if you haven't thanked a fern today, you might want to do that because we owe the fern a lot.
I want to read what Q just put up. Ecology necessitates diversity in species. Yes, very true. So very much so. Uh, Another fun fact I want to add. Sorry, I wanted to butt in a while ago when you said about 160 million years. Yeah, they have been, they governed the Earth for that long. That's a long time. We are not even 1% of that time period. I don't think so. So this is a huge deal when you think about it. A crazy fact is us, the modern man, is closer to a Tyrannosaurus Rex than a
Because we got a lot of
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
tyrants.
Yeah. Then a
but
Tyrannosaurus
that
Rex is to a Dimetrodon, which was in the Cretaceous period. It was That's how long the lifespan of their species was. It's just crazy. If
how long was the dinosaur age, like more or less? Do you
150
know?
160
million years.
million
160
years.
million years.
160 million years.
That's a
And
long
and
time on Earth.
so when you think about that, that's also, if you put things into perspective, like a what if perspective. It's like we've been around for what, a few million years, and they were around for 130
300,000
million
only,
years.
or 600,000. We haven't been around for a
Yeah,
million yet. Yeah.
I don't think so.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
we
And
haven't
just
been around
Homo
for a million.
civilization,
sapiens, right?
yeah.
Um, what I'm saying is just, it just went fast, man. Like it just went fast with us. Like what are the chances even that they would have been any different now, 65 million years later,
Yeah, right.
than,
You're
why would, but like that they would even have involved more during the 65 million years
you're
than
right.
they
You're
did in
right.
the first
That's
Oh,
130.
absolutely.
that is my
Absolutely.
personal theory, Martin.
But it's the
Incidentally,
same. But if we're talking about survival of the fittest, leaning toward the biggest or the most brutal or Brutus like dinosaur, that hasn't happened even in the human race. There are several body types, several archetypes of people. Some are big and bulky and tall, some are small and lanky. And to Q's point, we have to have diversity in ecology. It is naturally skewed toward one type of that species versus the other, but it won't necessarily die out. And I don't think it would be fair to say that the biggest would always be the sole
No, but
dominant.
that was not my point either. But in the food chain, they do dominate. Like if you're talking
they
about a
were the
big
dominant.
predator and it attacks a smaller animal, most of the time it will eat the animal. But that doesn't mean that it has the best. Let's say on the long run, has the best chances of surviving either as a race or as anything else,
Right.
right?
You're right. Very
But
much so. Right. Right. You're right. To think about when you think about it, I don't think they would have evolved that much. We still live with dinosaurs up to now. Crocodiles are technically dinosaurs. The shark is a dinosaur. The great white shark in particular. So these are things. Sorry, I just want to say the scientific name of the great white Cacarian cacarius. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Jaws. Anyways, yeah, so I don't think they would have evolved that much. And another thing is they were actually dying out even before the supposedly giant asteroid hit the planet. They were already dying out. Their species were dwindling. So evolution has a crazy way of doing things, and they would have probably died out naturally even without that collision. But again, we don't know. And if they never really died out, I don't think maybe mammals would have evolved much later. And if that's the case, we would still be Neanderthals, right? We would still be in cavemen by now, up to now. So we don't know. This is crazy theories can go wild, but yeah, I don't think they would have been smarter. I don't think they don't have that gene that we carry that supposedly made us smarter, thus giving us the advantage over all the animals. But that's another thing, would mammals even evolve? Would mammals even existed? That's one thing that a lot of scientists might not have the well, these are all speculation. It's great to speculate. Anyways, we can go crazy and we can go on forever with our theories, but I want to end this with a good question, with a light question. I want to talk favorite dinosaur movies, and I want to know your favorite movies and why. I want to start with Denise. What is your all-time favorite dinosaur movie and why?
So before the show, I asked if I could have three, but nobody answered me, so I'll just pick my one. Um, The Land Before Time.
Oh, I can't watch that movie. That broke my heart.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? And it's so
Oh my God.
it's
I
got
was
all the right
crying in the theater.
it has all the right pieces. It's got the drama, the action, really great animation for its time, the storytelling, the moral,
The
everything. It's got
heartfelt
yeah, the heart. Yeah,
scene.
yeah, yeah. Land Before
Heart
Time.
wrenching.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't watch it. I only watched that once in my life, and I was a kid. I remember watching it with my mom in the theater as a kid, and after that, everyone in the theater was going outside, and they were all teary eyed.
Crying.
Everyone
Yeah,
cried in that
yeah.
movie.
Yep,
God
yep.
damn that movie! And that theme song. I don't like that
Yep.
song.
And the thing about Land Before Time is, I mean, you had movies like Bambi, for example, where his
Yeah,
mother dies, and
right,
I mean, that's also very poignant. But when you watched Land Before Time, you
right.
were like,
Cause she
oh,
fought. Cause she fought for her
what?
child. Right?
Ah,
She
ah,
fought some the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which she clearly was no match for. She knows that she was gonna die. She just did it. Oh, sorry, it was a spoiler alert for guys who haven't seen a 30-year-old
For the
show
guys
yet.
that haven't
It's
seen the
your
movie
fault.
since 1988.
Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah, Dennis. Why did that resonate to you that much, Denise? Because of was it just because of the drama or
Well, for one thing, for me, the animation was spectacular, especially
it
for its
was good?
time. It was very seamless. At that time, they had such attention to detail that we would
Mhm,
take for granted today.
mhm,
The scaling of the dinosaurs was very well done,
mhm.
and how they were able to incorporate human-like expressions on a face at that
Yeah,
time. That
yeah.
that for me, I was like the technicality of it, like the technicality and the production of it. For one thing, was just blowing my mind, right? But then, exactly, it was a story of dinosaurs, but every species can relate to. Like, if we could take a dog to watch this movie and they had any comprehension what they were seeing, they could relate to that. They could relate to that,
Oo
and
nga.
and that's what I loved about it. It was such a universal, timeless story,
Hmm,
and it doesn't lose its heart or its message
right. You know what?
decades later.
When I was a kid, I wrote one of my first spec scripts. I wrote my own version of Land Before Time, and it ended with them following a star, and that star was actually the asteroid that's gonna collide with the Earth
Oh,
and this and kill
oh,
them all. And they thought it's
oh,
their savior. So
oh.
ever since I was a kid, I was already dramatic, guys. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to
Oh,
always
and
write
that
these
is really the dramatic irony, right? Because everybody
it's
watching
irony.
knows what, yeah, the dramatic irony is. Oh,
It's,
the pain, the pain.
that ending would have not made it in the final cut. I doubt it.
No,
It's too heart
no,
wrenching. It's
yeah,
already heart wrenching enough. You're
as it
gonna
is.
end it with that. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah, yeah.
you're gonna have not just crying audiences, angry audiences.
Like,
What
don't
is
give
this
them
here?
false hope, man. Like, what are you doing?
Diba? They're following a star and and Smallfoot and the other kids would be like, that's our savior. We have to follow that star. And as it approaches, it's the asteroid that will
Yeah,
destroy the Earth. Holy
and
crap.
then you make it one of the most watched kids movies of all time.
So, out of curiosity, I don't know if
But
Martin's
it's
ever seen it.
educational, Martin. It would have
It
been
also is,
educational
yeah.
though.
Out of
Mm.
curiosity, do you have a favorite character?
Sarah.
Okay, of course. Such
Of
a
course,
sassy
Sarah.
Sarah.
She was headstrong.
Yeah,
Actually,
she's
without
sassy.
Sarah, they would have not survived. Sarah did a lot of good
Yeah, yeah.
decisions. Actually, when
You
you
see,
think
there's
about it, Sarah
always
was a better
room in
leader.
life for a sassy bitch. Always. Mine was Ducky. Ducky was my
Ducky,
favorite. Yeah, Ducky
yeah,
was my favorite.
Diplodocus.
Yeah.
How about you, Martin? What was your all-time favorite?
To be honest, I know about it. I haven't watched it so much. But for the sake of argument, I I probably I like the Doshi one, Spike. It's
Ah,
a lot
oh,
of
oh,
fun.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Not that
I would.
famous, but yeah.
Yeah, I would. No, I would have assumed Elsie's favorite character, by the way, was Petrie. Petrie, because he's
Hi,
the flying.
Hmm.
Sarah. I like Sarah. I
Okay,
related to Sarah.
okay, okay.
Why'd you like that, Martin? Why was that your favorite movie?
Man, I don't have any argument to make. I haven't watched it that much. I just like the dozy feller. He's always fun.
You never. What was your
Like
first
someone who's
reaction?
who's always chill.
Right. What was your first reaction with Jurassic Park, though? I'm sure that was like on.
Yeah,
Everyone was just like,
yeah,
"Whoa,
it's like, man,
that blew
I
my mind."
I barely watched it. Like
Jurassic Park.
I've not watched it to a level where I remember like a lot of
Okay.
what it says in
My
it.
God,
I'm not.
I literally remember my myself and my drool as I saw the Brontosaurus, the first scene in the trailer of Jurassic Park, and there was a Brontosaurus, and that's the first time you see that good CGI on the big
Mm.
screen. And oh, I'm telling you, I was wetting my pants when I saw that first trailer. It was like, oh my god, that was just like they do Mervin herds. Yes, Q just mentioned. Yeah, Brontosaurus. Yeah, they move in herds. Speculatively, they say they are herbivores, right? My favorite dinosaur movie wasn't that famous either. It's based on a Twilight Zone episode. It's called Days of Thunder, and it was. Sorry, The Sound of Thunder. The Sound of Thunder, and it's about and dinosaurs never it was an alternate universe where they John Williams playing the background cue, yeah, you're right, with Jurassic Park. Well, in Sound of Thunder, it was a crazy premise. It had a crazy synopsis. uh, there's a company that with the clientele of the ultra rich that can actually go back in time just to kill dinosaurs. So that was their clientele. That was their business. If you want to experience killing a dinosaur, you go to my company, to this company, and you would be sent back in time. But you had to stay on a footbridge, on a very strict footbridge, just to
Mm.
kill that particular dinosaur. You
Yeah, I
cannot
think I
stray
watched that
away.
one. Yeah.
It's a very crazy storyline. Not to spoil anything though, but this is in the trailer. One of the clients stepped on uh, this giant bug. I think it was like a prehistoric butterfly of some sort, and because of that, things went haywire. Evolution went haywire. The dinosaurs never got extinct, and when they went back to the present, it was a different world. It's a very scientific. It was a very sci-fi movie. I loved it as a kid, and it's based on a Twilight Zone episode, which I'm a big fan of also. So that was my favorite movie. Guys, this has been this has been a crazy show. I really like it. This has I think this is one of our shows that we really, we just stayed light and we stayed relaxed and we didn't really get into much in-depth philosophy, whatnot. This is more on just sheer imagination and sheer craziness, and I enjoyed it so much. Thank you all. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And please, we have Spotify, we have YouTube. You can check this episode out and a lot more in those venues. And also Facebook, we have our Nuts page, and we have our Nuts group where we go crazy also with other things, not just dinosaurs. So please do drop by and become a member. Denise, final words.
Um, yeah, I guess thank the fern for
Yeah, for jump
rehabilitating the earth,
starting for
you
jump starting life.
because we wouldn't have made it, guys. I don't know if you want to thank the meteor, but I guess know your place in the evolutionary process. We might think we're the most intelligent species, but we haven't been around as long as the dinosaurs
Right,
had.
right.
And if a meteor like that could wipe them out, let's just hope nothing like that comes around again during our time.
Or
So
a
just be
virus.
humble. Yeah, just be humble and recognize our place in ecology and evolution, I guess.
Nice, nice. Martin?
Yeah, man, I had a great time. It's been fun talking about dinosaurs, and maybe if that meteor hadn't come around, I would have had uh, a companion, a friend,
Your the mowing dinosaur.
a person that could help me in life, spar with me. I could ride on him. But thanks to evolution and thanks to God working in mysterious ways, obviously that's not happening. So thank you very much.
You sound so
Um,
disappointed.
and thank you everybody. Yeah, but man, who wouldn't want that? Like
Right,
who
right.
would not want to have a dinosaur as a friend, huh? Not
Like
as
a
a
buddy.
slave. That's just for me. The rest of you would have to just befriend them.
Ducky would totally be my friend, and Spike would totally be Martin's friend, and Sarah and Elsie would be having fights in a bar all the time.
We would probably hit butting heads, so to speak.
Spike and Martin would just be looking at you guys going, ha ha ha.
Right. Okay,
And
guys.
just
Thank you again
when I
for.
get angry at the world, I can just look at that guy, man. That's why you want to have like such a mood lightener. Like you have a shitty day, man. You meet up with that guy. He's just, oh yeah, everything's
Spike!
gonna be all right. And you're like, man, bam.
Yeah, true, true, true. All right, guys. I'll see you guys again, all of you. Thank you again for joining. This has been the Naked Under the Table show, and I'll see you guys again. Make it your Monday 9 p.m. habit to log in and join us and just go nuts. Bye bye.